You know the vibe. All spice, no sugar. Let's get into it.
Welcome back to another episode on the Don't Sugarcoat It podcast. And this one's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a story time. I'm going to share with you a story from last year. And this is a journey of a massive spiritual awakening that I embarked on in early 2025. And I don't know why I haven't actually shared this on my podcast so far, because it was probably one of the biggest, most transformational, most pivotal moments in my life. And it fully changed how I saw myself, how I connected with my business, how I connected with the universe, and how I literally just showed up in all elements of my life. And if you have been following me for a while, you know that I'm quite a spiritual girly. I love the woo-woo. I love the magic. I love consciousness, the universe, spirit guides, meditation, connection, channeling. Also, I should do an episode on my mushroom journey in the US. Maybe. I took some mushrooms when I was in the States, and holy fuck, did I have the biggest that was probably the biggest fucking spiritual awakening journey that I've gone to. But I'm going to share this one because this was non-induced, non-chemically or mushroomy affected. But that's a story for another time, guys. You're going to have to come back for that later. But I tell you what, if you've ever done psychedelics before, especially mushrooms, life is not the same afterwards. And holy moly, did I have a huge experience with that. And I feel like this year as well, I'm going into more of okay, how can I explore more of consciousness? So also too, if anyone has any recommendations of where to go and do ayahuasca, please connect with me on Instagram, because I'm feeling the call of Mama Aya and I'm ready to go. So if you're listening to this and you've been potentially and preferably overseas, I would love that. In the Amazon, I'm a girly who's if you're going to do something, you just do it all, go all in. So if you have any recommendations, please message me on Instagram, connect me with someone, because I would love to journey more of that. Anyway, side note, side tangent. Back to my story. In January last year, I had an experience where I was literally called to America. It was the first time I actually went to America, and last year I ended up going to America 3 different times. And every single time had a soul journey in it, had a soul lesson. And that's pretty much how I do life. It's how I've run my business. It's how I've traveled. I will literally receive the download, or I'll receive the message, and I'll implement it straight away. And I remember I had flown to Melbourne to see a client of mine. We did a VIP day. And on the way back from Melbourne, at the time I was going through a separation with my partner, and I just felt like everything that was once stable for me was all up in the air. And I remember I was literally on the plane, and I was just for some reason looking at flights. Does anyone do that randomly? You're just I'm bored, I'm just going to look at flights to go to a different country. I do that all the time. And I was looking at flights, and I just had this knowing that I needed to travel. I needed to go overseas. And I saw California, LA. I was like, oh my gosh. It was literally it fucking popped out of the screen to me. And I was like, I need to go to LA. I was like, now. And within literally 7 days, I was in LA. That's how fast. But my soul was like, you need to go right now. I was like, this is so strange, but I just need to go. And if you're someone who has that intuition, who has that gut feeling, you just know, if it's yelling at you, you've got to listen. And I just had to listen, and I didn't know why. And I went to LA, and at the time, this was only just after the California fires. So everyone was telling me, they're like, why are you going to California? There's fires over there. And I mean, I'm a conspiracy girly as well. And I mean, when I got to California, it's literally as if the fires weren't even there. Very suspicious. Believe what you want to believe, but I'm not subscribing to that shit. Anyway, got to California. I was like, I don't know why I'm here. I don't know anyone here. I don't know why I'm here. Also, too, that was the scariest thing for me to navigate, because my visa only got approved 24 hours beforehand. And even when I got into the security, I went into interrogations. They're like, why are you here? Who are you? Like, you don't have any plans. Cause I literally had like one apartment booked for like 7 days. And I was like, I'm just going to figure it all out. I was there by myself and they were literally like, why are you here? And I was like, well, my soul told me I need to be here. And these security guards are like, what the fuck? And anyway, eventually I got through after like being held up in interrogations for like 1 to 2 hours. I eventually got out. So scary being like a solo girl. It was just wild. And then I remember I was staying in West Hollywood and I was like, I don't even know why I'm here. And then the thought came through and it was, oh, I wonder if there's any spiritual places around California. I don't think anyone ever thinks that when they go to California, especially LA. I don't think people go to LA for a spiritual experience. No, it's like the complete opposite. And anyway, my brain just goes, I'm going to find somewhere to really connect in with myself. And I was Googling, asking ChatGPT, looking for all of these spiritual places. And I was going through this entire list and this one place popped out at the screen. Again, Mount Shasta. I was like, what the heck? I've never even heard of this place before, but for some reason it literally feels like it's screaming at me. And so I started to research about Mount Shasta and I found out that it's the root chakra of the earth. Just like as humans, we have the 7 chakras of the body, the earth also has 7 chakras. And Mount Shasta is the root chakra of the earth. It is known to be one of the most potent portal points in the planet, and people travel all around the world to go to this mountain to connect in with themselves, to have spiritual awakenings. There's also a lot of like extraterrestrial connection points reported there. A lot of people have gone there and experienced like outer body experiences, ET connection, remote viewing, starship connections. Like I started researching about all of these things and my body was literally vibrating. I had goosebumps and I was like, oh my God, this is why I'm here. I was literally called over to America to go to this place. And I didn't even know where. I was just like, oh yeah, it's in California. I didn't realize how big of a state California was. And I was like, oh yeah, cool, that'll be really easy to get to. And I was like, oh, well, it's literally like 10 hours from LA. I was like, okay, we're going to have to figure out another way how to get here. And I also had like 6 months before a vision about the Golden Gate Bridge. And I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to fly to San Francisco. Flew to San Francisco, went and saw the Golden Gate Bridge, and then hired a car because I found out it was only a 4-hour drive to go to Mount Shasta. Meanwhile, I had never driven in America before. I was alone and driving on the opposite side of the road. It was a whole experience, but we got there safely. And I remember driving to Mount Shasta. It was a 4-hour trip. It was a vibe. I had fun, just like road tripping in America, solo, just a girl doing her thing. And I remember coming around this bend on the highway after about 3.5 hours of travel. And all of a sudden, this huge white mountain just came into view. And again, my entire body was just like goosebumps everywhere. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, that's it. Like that has to be the mountain. And of course it was. And another thing too is I didn't realize, I was like, that it's a snowed mountain. I was like, it snows in California. Like my mind at this point was just like, what the fuck? And I was like, oh, this is really cool. Maybe I can go snowboarding because I also love snowboarding. So side tangent, I did actually get to go snowboarding and it was so fucking fun. I loved it. It was the best time. And anyway, so I got to the mountain eventually. And it's like this tiny little town. I think there's like one main strip and that was it. And there's a few other like streets with houses of people who lived there, but there was literally one main street. And I was like, oh my God, this place is tiny. And I also like loved that energy at the same time. And as I got there, I was like, what am I even going to do here? Like, I don't know anyone. I don't even know. Like, I'm just here. And I remember researching like spiritual tours or spiritual guides to go like in Mount Shasta. And I came across this person called Paul of Venus. Shout out to you, Paul. And I saw that he did spiritual tours in Mount Shasta. I was like, perfect. I'm going to book one. I booked into a group spiritual tour where he kind of for the day takes you up to the mountain, takes you to all like the portal points. And I remember thinking, okay, perfect. Prior to this, I had done again more research and had found out that Mount Shasta is a massive portal point for Lemuria. And Lemuria is an ancient civilization similar to Atlantis. And I had connected with Lemuria much myself before. This is a starseed civilization. And I was like, yes, I'm going to connect in with the Lemurian guides. And pretty much up until this point, I considered Lemuria to be like my closest relation when it came to galactic beings and starseed generation civilizations. And I was like, oh, cool, this is going to be great. I'm going to connect in with these beings. I'm so ready. I was like, the whole trip, I was like, I'm open to receiving, like, show me whatever it is that I need to show. I want to connect in with whoever is available to connect into. I'm wanting to open myself up to my spirit guides. It's going to be amazing. I booked the tour with Paul, the group tour, and I rocked up the next day, and it was literally just him and I. And I was like, oh my God. So I had this entire private tour, private experience with Paul the entire day. And this is the beginning of the most expansive and soul awakening day of my life. I rocked up, I met Paul, and he literally just looked at me and he said, hello, sister. And I remember looking at him in the eye, and it was like I was looking into his eyes and just saw all of these timelines. Like I had known this person for years. Our souls had known this person for like forever. And it was literally like a coming home of like a family reunion of souls. Like we've journeyed so many lifetimes together. And I was like, oh, fuck, this is going to be big. Like that was like this first second of meeting him. And I've had like some pretty profound spiritual experiences in my life. And that moment was like, I could feel like the energy in my body, the expansion. I was almost a little bit scared. I was like, oh my God, what the fuck? This is crazy. And he took me to, there's like a part of the mountain where you can go and you can collect literal like water from the mountain and drink it straight from the mountain. And it was like the most pure water that I've ever drunk. And he's like, we're just going to like start the day collecting the pure water. And then we went to then we got the water, drunk from the river. And it was just like a really cool, like opening blessing to begin the experience. And then he took me to this lake, and there was this point of this lake, and we're just like trekking down, and he had like these little chairs, and we set up on a lake, and it was really early in the morning. So the lake was crystal clear, and you could see the full vision of the mountain in front of us. And it was the mountain and then the reflection of the mountain below it. And it was this whole experience and analogy of as above, so below, as within, so without. And he was explaining with me, he said, you know, Candy, like you've been called here for a reason. Mind you, Paul is the most connected, conscious human I have ever met in my life. Every single thing that came out of that man's mouth was like pure transmission. Like he was literally speaking the word of God, the word of consciousness. And I had never experienced anything of that in my life. Like I'm very connected in with a lot of incredibly conscious people in my life, and never have I experienced someone as pure and of high integrity and conscious integrity than this person before. And so I was just filled with goosebumps like the entire day. And as we sat looking at the beautiful mountain and the reflection on the lake, he shared with me, he said, Candy, people come all over to the mountain. They come, they fly, they spend their time, they spend their money to literally be in the presence of the mountain, because she is just her, and the mountain is a reflection of the mother. And there is a certain point, a viewpoint that you can look at the mountain, and it literally looks like a pregnant woman lying on her back. Like you can see her eyes, her mouth, her chin, you can see her breasts, you can see her belly, you can see her legs and her feet. And he was outlining that to me, and I just started feeling all of these emotions come up in my body, and I literally felt like the tears come down, and of just purity. And he said, you've been called here to be taught the lesson that in just being, people will take their time, they'll give up their time, their energy, their money, they will travel to, because in your essence and in your being, that frequency is the most potent people can ever experience. And at that point in my life, when I was kind of going through a breakup with my partner, and there was so many things happening in my business and in my personal life, and I felt like everything that I knew had been pulled out from underneath me, and him just seeing and showing me that in just being, and by being me and fully claiming myself, that people travel, spend, take up their time, give their energy to be in the proximity because of the access and the codes that is available when you're fully in your oneness and your magnetism. And that was just the beginning. I was like, oh my God, this for me was just so transformational to recognize myself within that. And then we got in our cars, and then we were driving, and I was just following him, and we're driving up the mountain, remembering that the mountain is snowing. So I actually had to go and hire whole entire snow gear. I had to hire the snow boots, you know, the ones that look like rackets that clip onto your shoes. And I had to hire the snow poles to literally go hiking on the mountainside in the snow. I had no fucking idea that that's what I was signing up for. And so we drove to the side, we were driving up the mountain, and we just literally pulled over at this random spot. And he's like, okay, we're going to walk into the mountain now. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, there's no path here. There's no nothing. It's just me and this guy. And we're just walking through the fucking mountainsides, like no tracks. There was no path. And half of my brain is thinking, is this how I die? And then the other half of my brain is thinking, this is the most craziest experience of my entire life. And I know that if I fully just open myself up to this, like, things are gonna, like, this is gonna be crazy. And we're walking through the mountainside, and I'm just following him, just me and him, literally no one. Walking on the mountainside, it's snowing. It's exhausting too. I was like, damn, I did not know I was signing up for a mountain hike today. And I'm just following him, and he's just like trekking through the mountain. I was like, I don't even know where we're going. I was just trusting. I was like, I trust that I would not be in this position if the universe didn't need me to be here right now. I fully have to trust, surrender. Mind you, I'm also thinking my mum would be dying right now if she knew what I was doing. Just walking on this side of the mountain with this man that I met like 4 hours ago. But anyway, here we are. And I was just following Paul, and we got to this place, and it was this big opening of the mountain. And it was like, literally, like, he said to me, he said, this is a landing zone. He said, all the starships come to land here, and this is where a lot of the star seeds connect. And it literally looked like that. It was this gateway. There was this massive rock that looked like a gateway, and it was just this clearing on the side of the mountain, kind of like in the shape of an oval with trees all around it. And we stopped there to have some food, and he was sharing with me his journey and his experience and his connection with spirit. And he said to me, he's like, Kenny, get up and just go stand over there at the moment. I said, okay. So I just got up, like, we're like literally mid-conversation. He just like stopped, and he's like, just go and stand over there. I want to take a photo of you. And I was like, okay. So I went over and stood where he told me to, and he took a photo of me. And he then like literally showed me the photo, and I was literally just me standing on the mountain. No one was around, and this huge purple light was literally just covering me. And I was like, holy fuck. And he said, oh, this is the violet flame. This is Saint Germain. This is the spirit Saint Germain violet flame. You've been called here for a reason. And then he took a few more photos, and there's literally like, you can see literal beings, light beings all around me. And I was like shocked. was like, I've connected in with spirit beings many times in my life, but to actually have captured that was, again, it just gave me so much goosebumps. And he just said, you're here. The Ascended Masters have called you here because you need to receive a message. You need to receive an upgrade. And I said, well, I believe that, of course. Like, I wouldn't be here. That's literally how I do my life. And I still have those photos. And it just blew my mind seeing that. He said, you've literally been blessed and chosen by Saint Germain to receive the violet flame. And I said, I was crying at this point. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And as we continued to journey on through the day, he took me to a place and we connected in with the Ascended Masters. I went through a meditation. And at the end of the day, like, there's so many things I could literally explain that, like, sit and talk about this for so long. And eventually it got to the end of the day where we trekked back to our cars after going through like a meditation and a spiritual awakening, where I received so many messages for myself and from my soul and from my spirit guides. And I connected into my full, truest soul self. And this was Venus. And up until this point, I had learned, like, I know a lot about starseed races, but I'd never really heard about Venus. And he said, you're from Venus, you're a Venusian. And I didn't know anything about that. And I just kind of took that and I was like, okay, cool. And at the end of the day, he said, he's like, okay, we're going to drive up to the top of the mountain, and you could only drive so far because the snow cut you off, but you could drive up as far as you could go. And he said, I want you to sit here as the sun sets. And he said, this is where you'll receive what you need to receive. This is where books are channeled. This is where so many people have had massive spiritual breakthroughs. And he said, I just want you to, he's like, I'm going to leave you now, and you're just going to sit here. And as the sun sets on the mountain, it goes this beautiful pink color. And that is the activation of the chakra. And he said, I just want you to sit and be and receive. And I was like, okay, no worries. And I trekked up as I could to get closest view to the mountain. And as the sun set, and he was right, the sun set on the mountain and it literally turned this most beautiful pink color. And that's also the color of Venus as well. And I remember sitting there just journaling. And I was journaling literally through channeling. And it's like something had struck me. It was like a lightning bolt had just struck me of just this connection to spirit. And I just started writing, and I couldn't stop writing. And I was writing all of these passages and messages. And I was constantly just channeling to the point where it was dark. It started to get dark and I couldn't even see what I was writing, but I was literally just receiving transmissions and messages from Venus and from spirit and from like a higher consciousness. And that for me changed so much for myself. And I finally had connected into my soul's prophecy, my soul's code. And that's when everything really awoke for me. I saw what I was here to do. I saw what I was here to create in my business. And I started receiving these codes and these transmissions. And now I have been channeling through 7 Venus rose codes. And these are the specific codes that have integrated into my soul. And these are the codes that I'm here to share with the collective consciousness. And for me, integrating these codes into my life, it has activated me in the graciousness of soul evolution. It's activated me into my soul prophecy, what I'm here to do. It's activated me into the frequency of love to attract my soul union and my dream partner. It's activated me into this magnetism that has allowed me to show up in my business and attract wealth. These codes have been the biggest gift that I could have ever have received without even knowing that they were for me. And I feel like as you're listening to this, you may be feeling the pull, the awe inspiring, the awe interest. And if that is the case, I want you to just really tune in right now and to connect into the mountain. However you see it in your mind right now is perfect for you. And I want you to feel and see if there's any threads or any cords from your being and from your soul, from your physical body to the mountain. And if there is, I just want you to tune into the feeling of that cord and see where it is. See where it is attached to in your body. And I want you to ask yourself, is this calling for me? And if you're feeling like that pull in your body right now, I want you to just close your eyes and feel that sensation and ask if the calling to the mountain is for you. And I didn't know it at the time, but in the last few months, I had the calling to go back to the mountain. And I also had the calling to co-facilitate and connect with Paul again. And I'm so excited because this year I'm taking my company international. And the first thing that we're doing international is we're running a spiritual retreat for the conscious entrepreneur in Mount Shasta in May. And this is a 7-day all-inclusive luxury spiritual retreat from the 1st to the 7th of May. And I want you to feel like you will feel if this is for you or not. And I would love to invite you, if you are having that calling, if you are having that sensation in your body, to tune in and to ask yourself, is it now? Is it me? Because the masters, like, you will have that or you won't. And if you do have that, I want to share this with you. You're getting that because there is a message for you. There is a code for you waiting for you inside the mountain. And you cannot, no course, no podcast, no teacher, no meditation can ever give you the exploration of yourself than what is available to you, because the ascended masters and Venus herself and the spirit guides have something for you, and they're asking you to retrieve this for yourself, for your soul, because you have a prophecy to fulfill. There is something for you inside the mountain. So if you're feeling that call, I'm running a retreat, co-facilitating this retreat with Paul of Venus, the most incredible, most conscious man that I have ever come across in my life. We're creating a retreat for you to connect into the 7 Venus rose codes to fully activate your soul prophecy and completely shift your evolution. So if you're feeling the call, I have linked below an application. There is very minimal information that I will give you around the logistics of this. And my intention around that is to really allow you to lead yourself with your soul. Trust that this is for you or not. What you can also do is you can message me on Instagram at Kenny the Creator. Message me Shasta, and I will just have a little conversation with you, because this is a very potent portal. There is a very particular woman that this is for. So this isn't for everyone, and it is very special in that regard. So I'm just going to share with you, and every single person that has inquired around Shasta, because we've already sold 4 spaces to the retreat, and every single person that has inquired, I have also channeled and energetically connected into the mountain for them. And every single person is feeling the call because they know that there's something for them there. And my only piece for you is allow your soul to guide you there. So the information that I'll provide you is very minimal, and that is intentionally created for you to build and commit this to yourself. So I'm going to drop the link below in the show notes, and please message me Shasta on my DMs at Kenny the Creator if you want just more information, if you want to connect in with the mountain. This place I knew I would always come back to, and I'm so proud and so excited to be co-facilitating this retreat in May. And I know the transformation and the extreme shift it created for myself, so I can only wish that you get to experience this too. So my love, this brings me to the end of this episode. I'm so excited for you if you choose to come. and I will be seeing you in the next episode of the Don't Sugarcoat It podcast. Bye.